Welcome everyone to the live stream. First part for this character that we're going to start right now. I have two goals for this playthrough. One is to achieve the greater victory, which oddly enough I've not done yet after all of my playthroughs. I've only ever got the normal and the lesser victories. I've got a lot of them, but I've never gone for all of the Girsh, which is what you have to do to get the greater victory achievement. Mostly because they're hard to find. It takes a long time. Like I've killed plenty of Girsh, but we're going to get them all this time. The other reason for this stream or thing we're going to achieve is that I'm going to recreate my character from the first Cud video where I described what I think is the best starting character in Caves of Cud. So we'll be playing a classic, of course, make a new character, and I'll show you how to build this character. That video was not a full game. So I just gave the overview basically and how it works, how you build it, and so on. But this will be a full play of how that character plays out. So it is a Truekin, and it goes with the Praetorian class. I like this class largely because it starts out with both good armor and an Ishikar rifle. And the Ishikar rifle, of course, is probably the best weapon in the game to start out with. Has some other stuff too, like the 15 cold res, helps us with Bethesda Souza. And the other skills are fine as well. I should say, I'm realizing already that this is going to be like a spoiler heavy kind of stream, I guess. So, not early on, but we are going to be seeing all of the games. So we're going to be going deep. We're going to be going to all the zones. We're going to be seeing lots of different kinds of quests. So if you are new to the game or if you haven't played deep into it, you may see or may hear me talk about things that are a bit spoilery. I'm going to show you probably some shortcuts through some of the quests if they're available. I like doing that. So just be forewarned. We've played through this game quite a lot on this channel, and so I expect if you're watching, you expect that I'm going to not hide spoilers. So there's your warning. Back to building the character. We start off with 16 and everything. I do in general. And then I like to go for 21 int relatively early on to get Tinker 2. And I like to go for the same 21 agility early on to get our pistol skills, the disarming shot in particular. And so, usually these go around 20 probably. That's what we're going to be looking at getting. And so those will easily get to 21 and then 23 shortly after that by level 12. And then we'll go into a bit more strength probably and a bit more ego maybe, just to get better prices for ego, a little bit more carry weight over here on strength. And then I think you could happily go into either agility or int. It really doesn't matter. Let's go agility. Gets us a little early game offensive capability since we'll be going mostly ranged. And then we get to pick a cybernetic, and I will be going with the optical techno scanner just because of quality of life reasons more than anything. It allows us to see what the unknown objects in vendors' inventories are. You identify unerringly. You never break anything. So it kind of saves you money, basically. It gets you the items you want sooner and just makes our life a lot easier. So here's our final build. Techno Scanner, Praetorian Truekin, high agility, high intelligence. What shall we name our character? We're going after the Girsh. So maybe we're something related to a Girsh hunter. Maybe we're ending the Gyre. Right? So maybe we are the what? Gyre Vanquisher or something like that. Ender of Gyres. Ender of the Gyre. How about that? Unless anybody has a better idea. I'm very bad at making up creative names, so you're very welcome for all the terrible names I've got. My last character I named in Tome was just Draconius the Second because I was like, I need some kind of naming mechanism here. So I'm not particularly creative with this stuff. Anyway, there we go. Let's see. We're going to do a random start this time. Usually I start in Joppa, but let's mix things up. I think we're going to be going heavy on village quests in this game, just to kind of, I don't know, a little more diversity, a little more fun. And you get cool items sometimes, so that's all good. Still think maybe we start in the Salt Marsh. Let's see. The insect and fish rep is kind of nice. It's on an item, it's not like it's permanent. We could go with Ishkar Banner as well, and then Reputation with Reptiles. Fasting Way is good. I think we're going to start here just for Harvestry, more than Fasting Way. I do like getting that up and running soon, so we'll do that. In we go. We arrive at the village of Ash. Boy, that's a boring name, isn't it? Usually you get something funky. On the horizon, Cud's jungles strangle chrome steeples and rusted archways to the earth. Further and beyond, this fabled spindle rises above the fray and pierces the cloud-ribboned sky. Okay, looks like we have goat folk here, which is kind of intriguing, actually, because if we can get in well with the goat folk, then we can visit lots of their villages in the forest early on, which could be good for loot and all kinds of different rep. So we picked up a historic site already, which is pretty cool. There we go. It is inaccessible is what it is. That's unfortunate. Let's see what we have to eat. I always like to check the oven, see if there's anything good there. Apple juice dip. Whenever you take damage, there's an 8% chance to not thirst for the next 12 hours. Not what we were looking for. Not terrible. Yeah, it looks like, actually, I can steal from this location, I think. If I can get that guy to not stand in that doorway, that'd be fantastic. I could steal from these two chests. We'll see if we can do that in a minute. Let's see. He is a legendary of some kind. So he's admired here. He's hated by the kinfolk of some place and hated by Ishkari tribe, which is a bit unfortunate. Got a painted vine reaper. Yeah. I think we'll make friends with him. Ishkari already hate us, so that's whatever. Yeah, he's the guy that teaches Harvestry, so we'll go ahead and learn that right now. No quests, though, so we'll go find the quest guy. We got a Dromad Merchant here as well, which is nice. Always comes with the village, your starting village. This one is not part of the village village rep or village group, whatever, which means you can kill him if you want. Hey, look there. Starting off with a Reshef secret for experience. We can turn that in later. Very nice find. Mainly, we want bullets. I think we better check our items as well. So regardless, this is probably all we want. We've got a better shield, so we'll trade for bullets for our Ishkar rifle. We have 111 plus a full magazine. You start with Praetorian's Cloak, which gives 2 DV, and you start with a +3 -1 chainmail, a steel shield, I believe. Yep, very good, and a long sword. It's steel. It's fine. We're probably not using this very much, and some boots. So overall, what's our grenade anyway? Defoliant grenade. Garbage. That's unfortunate. Not like we use many grenades on this channel anyway, but that's okay. Number of injectors, couple salves. So that's a good starting set here. What we're going to do probably is replace sword with torch right away. But we start off with 4 AV and 7 DV, which is really solid defensively. Better than most starts, actually. So, all the reasons we start with this character when you want like the best build, basically. All right, we got a Tinker. So here's where our Chosen Cybernetic comes in useful. We can read all of these things without having to identify them. Unfortunately, there's nothing of any use here. There's Techno Scanner in case we didn't already have it. Compass Bracelet isn't bad. Could pick up a toolkit. I think we'll just wait, probably. Let's see what our quests are here. So you're a legendary, but not one that I can do water ritual with. So let's see. I have a secret plan I'm setting into motion. I need someone to go to Nashralla Reach and drink from the harvestrary wide glass bottle there. Okay. No, I cannot tell you why. What do you think? I will reward you for your labor. Sounds like some sneaky backroom dealings here. Okay, that's the recoiler quest as well. So we do want that. That's the main thing. Let's go talk to the Mechamus Convert and get that quest. And a box of crayons randomly. And then we'll talk to the Warden as well, who is a member of the Goat Folk. But he's hated by Goat Folk. Are you kidding me? That's unfortunate. What is our rep with Goat Folk anyway, starting out? I don't know off the top of my head. I know it's bad, but how bad is it? Negative 475. Well, I was hoping to befriend them in this village, but I guess we can also just raid them and take their stuff by force. Why not? We'll make friends with this guy. I like being friends with the Wardens. They're a very useful group. And of course, if you need a friend and you're in need of one, the Wardens are always some of the best friends. He just has a posse, I guess. It's not really a goat folk village at all. He just travels with posse. Okay, so we got no experience so far, which is unfortunate. It's one of the downsides of not starting in Jopa. In Jopa, you start out with one level at least. So let's see. We have long blades, harvestry, basic bow and rifle skills, basic shield skills, and that's it. Let's see if we can steal anything here. This looks viable. If we could wake this guy up and get him out of here, maybe. Is he just going to stay put? We'll come back and check. Here's our Dromad merchant. Well, let's wake this guy up. Maybe he'll leave too. Yeah? Huh? It's trying to make me sit in the chair. Why can't I shut these doors? Are you not able to shut two doors like this? Or am I just doing it wrong? There we go. Use the O button, not the space button. There's nothing in there. Of course there's not, after all that. Nope, nothing. Great. Let's check this guy real quick. He might have something to sell us. Could get a sap mask. I don't know. It doesn't have that much of an effect. There we go. We've got it now, don't we? Nothing in there, of course. How about this one? We're really striking out in this place, huh? Nothing in any of these chests. Nope, no dice. We get no loot from the starting village. Womp womp. Okay, well, let's go farm some XP, get a level, get Wayfaring online. Let's just pop up here to the overworld. So we're way up here. We could work our way south, I think. Head towards the Joppa starting area. Pick up that extra historic site. And we'll kill fish on the way. $25 experience a pop. Just trying to get that safe first level so we can do Wayfaring. The glow pad's not very much worth the experience. They take too long to kill. Yeah, so overall, this is going to be a much more chill stream and playthrough than most of my challenge runs are, at least until the very end of the game. I mean, the end of the game where we're fighting the Girsh could get a little sketchy, depending on our build at the time. Otherwise, we're going to be cruising around, looking at historic sites, doing village quests, um, doing all the stuff that a lot of times I skip just because it's like not the most optimal XP or whatever. There's our level 2. Sure, we'll name our cloak, why not? Let's name it after our culture. I have no idea what our culture is. I guess we're from the village of Ash. What colors do we like? Something like this? Snail encrusted look. Very nice. All right, so let's get our skills. We got 110, so we're going to get wayfaring first. Mind's compass reduces chance of getting lost by about 15%, lets us travel quicker on the overworld. Really what we want is Marsh's lore, so that'll be next, along with scavenger, so we can start working on tinkering stuff. Start gathering the tinkering items. So we'll just keep killing as we head south. I'm also going to be playing around on this one a little more with cooking recipes. So we'll see if we can't find some new interesting recipes. I know there's a lot of them that I haven't tried. I've got my favorites. I think everybody pretty much does. And then they end up sticking to whatever those favorites are, which is what I do, I really like the star apple jam plus any meat recipe, which heals you on damage whenever you take damage, which is really good as a safety mechanism early on. But there's a lot of fun options and triggers that you can get. There's like, you can jump around or you can drink water and have either of those things trigger something else to happen, like damage types or phasing or things like this. So I am wanting to play around a little bit more with that this game. Because if there's something that I haven't explored as much as maybe I should, it's cooking. It's powerful, but also it's kind of clunky in game to figure out exactly what to do with it without looking it up on the website, of course. There's our guy. We'll drop him back on the ground. There's our droid scrambler for later. Scratch disc, which will get us into Grit Gate if we need to. Also picked up a lead acid battery at one point. Not sure where that came from. And then if we go just north of here, should be able to get another historic site which has a rare item in it. So this historic site will have 2 rare items, which is just fantastic. That's a good pickup. That's what you want to see from your historic sites, no doubt about it. And this one is guaranteed to be somewhere more useful. So we'll hit that up relatively early on. Almost to level 3, so we're going to hit level 3 first. Also, I ought to be looking for the quest from our settlement. Where is that? Here it is. Drink from the wide glass bottle. It is at Nushrala Reach, which I forgot to mark on my map. Unfortunately, that's up in the hill country. So we don't want to get lost there. We will need to get some more XP to get Wayfaring Online before we go there, because the last thing you want is to be lost in the hills. If nothing else, it's tedious, right? Because if you get lost, a lot of times you get lost in like in an enclosed area, right, with the hills surrounding you, and then you've got to dig your way through without a pick, given that I don't have a pick right now, which is just a real pain in the butt. And at worst, you got salt hoppers and things like that that can chase you down and kill you really quickly, so we don't want to mess with that. That being said, I think that we can do, it's canyons technically. So we can do canyons and we can do marshes. I am just going to check. Yeah, desert canyons. I think this is a canyon, isn't it? I actually can't tell. I bet it is. I'm pretty sure this tile is a canyon. I could be wrong, but we want canyon anyway. So let's pick it up. Also got a tribute point there. So we'll go marshes, and we'll go canyons, We got 20 points left over. So the next one is going to be tinkering, and we'll go for scavenger early on and then disassemble and start working on that. For attributes, we're just going to work back and forth between agility and int, having them both hit 23 for Tinker 2 and for disarming shot. Sometime around or before level 12 is kind of the goal. Of course, more int means more skill points. We got a whole 8 out of that extra int, so great stuff. Hey, Jared, welcome to the stream. Jared says, why are you killing those poor glowfish? Because we're weak and scared of everything else. And the best thing to do in the early game, believe it or not, is to walk around the marshes and get 25 XP a pop off those little glowfish. And oddly enough, or funnily enough, you used to be able to sell their corpses. Those corpses aren't worth anything anymore. But back in the olden days, before 1.0, you could sell those corpses to the vendors and use that to afford to buy things, which is broken. So it used to actually be the best thing to do early on because they put up no fight. You kill them, you get your XP, you get a bunch of money. Easy game, right? They nerfed that a bit. They're still like really simple XP. So I do that just to get Wayfaring leveled up, right? So just get Wayfaring online, and now we'll start traveling the overworld more and getting XP via Wayfaring, which I'll show shortly. So right now we're working on the village quest. I've popped into this place. We got a little XP just for showing up, and we're immediately ambushed by snapjaws. So we're going to step down and hope nobody's down here and let them come to us. Okay, apparently they don't want to come play. Can I cook? No. Okay, well, I've got 2 archers here, which is why I don't want to fight on their terms. Ooh, and a salt hopper, who is tough. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. Let's see. Let's shield slam. How hurt is he? Because we're taking damage here. We are injured. Got the kill. Now we got a brute coming. There's level 4. I'm not sure what I killed because it's not the guy standing in front of me, oddly enough. He's got me pinned in a corner here. Now remember, we do have, I'll just show you, Witchwood Bark, of course, which is bad, but we start with 2 salve injectors, which is one reason why this background is nice. So if it looks rough, we will do that. Now, we do have somebody shooting at us over here, so got to be careful. He's got a quilted shawl, water skin, so we'll come back for that. Yeah, apparently I missed the guy I was shooting at right here and accidentally hit the ranged unit behind him, which is just fantastic. That's what you want. That guy had a masterwork bow, which we can sell, along with daggers. All daggers are valuable early on. Quilted shawl is useful. If you don't start with a Truekin that has cold resist, that can be almost enough cold resist to go through Bethesda Souza. So we'll heal up, see if we can make camp. Cannot. Looks like we got an archer. Archer killed this guy for me, so we'll just step down. Just being very careful right now because we are pretty weak early on. Like I say, we do have better armor than most characters will at this point, but that doesn't mean we're not still very squishy. So got to be careful. Might as well put the experience in, shouldn't we? We've got the skills, 142. Yeah, let's just do that. I originally said we'll go tinkering, and then we'll go scavenger first, but then we're going to go back up here, and we're going to get salt dunes next as well, I think. And then we're probably going into cooking so that we can start doing carbide chef type stuff. All right, more archers. Always another archer, isn't there? These guys are friendly, right? Yes, excellent. Fly, friendly. Let's not pick up too many short bows. They're pretty heavy. Not a lot of value in them. Can I please make camp? That would be great. Not that I can do anything with it, but I like going into battle not hungry. Okay, Smiling Sun Mask is good, and I took an electrified two-handed bronze sword, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, it's got no cell in it. I don't think I want to give up my shield to use this. I could. 6 pen, 1d6 plus electrified is extremely strong. But we're just going to rely on Ishkar Rifle for the time being, I think. I am a big fan of shields in this game, so I don't really want to give it up unnecessarily. Oh, that guy hurts. Why do you hurt so much? Two-handed sword, that's why. Random hostile water vine farmer of a cult. Why? Why is there a cult here, and why have I not noticed that before? Oh dear, we've got a tortoise who is injured. Okay. I don't want to fight a bunch of turtles here. I can tell you that much. Um, what are we looking for? We're looking for some kind of drinking vessel, and I think I've got a drink out of it, right? Travel here, drink from the harvesterary wide glass bottle. So let's look for that, and then let's try to get out of here. Jared says, is the top bar UI temp ambient or your player's current temperature? This is my temperature. Yeah, occult water vine farmers. Just a chance encounter. You don't see them very often because I guess you don't. I don't spend a whole lot of time in the marshes where they live. Usually when we see cults, they're later on in historic sites. But yeah, to answer you, this is the my temperature, and if it goes too high or too low, then you have temperature-based effects start happening. Of course, we have a bit of cold resist, so we can withstand drops in temperature better. Um, ooh. Maybe that's why there's such good loot here, huh? There's a secret. Vine Reapers, Brimmed Hat, which gives DV. I need a hat, don't I? Yeah, sure do. Let's put this hat on. Vine Reapers at £5. I think they're worth some money. We got to be careful because that turtle is going to be coming, presumably. Boy, this is an awkward place to be. Like, things that are usually friendly are not friendly here, and I don't like it. I see a fire over here. And a cannibal. Okay. What's he got? Just a club. Sometimes they carry injectors and other fun stuff. Not today. Another quilted shawl. Nope, nothing of interest there. He's worth 75 XP, so definitely leveling up or getting some XP here. There's a kudzu there. Don't want to run into that. Okay, so it looks like probably just the turtle that we got to watch out for over here. Just one sec. Message from the wife. All good. Let's go see where that turtle is. Or avoid seeing where that turtle is if we can help it. Watch him jump out from around the corner. Oh, why are there so many cannibals here? Leave me alone, cannibals. I just want to drink from your vase, I guess? Okay, gloves. We need gloves. So we're up to 5 AV now, which is pretty sweet. I don't think this mask does anything. No, it's just worth money. Oh, it does have some DV, and I can put it on my face. There's no downside here, right? No, it looks good. Nice. Up to 9 DV. Solid. Jared says, thanks, that's helpful. I've only made it to level 11 max before getting killed by something random I've never seen before. Haven't run into any frosty areas yet where the temperature matters. Well, there is if you follow the main quest line, there is a guaranteed location where you need some cold res later on in the game. And that's why I started with this particular background, the Praetorian. It starts with permanent 15 cold res, which is enough to do that quest. So I won't spoil it for you what it is if you don't know, but 15's enough for later on. It's quite a way in the future for this character. Um, Jared says, other than being set on fire, which happens frequently. Yeah, sure does. Getting a little bit of early fire res is really good. I like a little bit of all res early on if you can. Obviously, not every game you're going to find it. That's just how it goes. What I do recommend, though, if you're struggling to get past like the early teens levels or whatever, is to do what I'm doing here and go into wayfaring. So the first skills you notice, I only have base skills other than wayfaring. So I've got Mind's Compass, and then the areas that I'm in, I've got the Wilderness Lore. And I personally never walk through areas where I don't have the Wilderness Lore because you have a really high chance of getting lost. But on top of that, these Wilderness Lores, if you look over here, increases your, where is it? Chance of interesting encounters, which gives you ruins where you can find books, which can give you XP. You can find loot. This is a really good, probably the safest, in my opinion, the best way to level up early on is with wayfaring. So I highly suggest you look in that direction if you're having trouble getting past the early levels. All right, Brute, I see you. Shall we shield slam? He resisted. Gotcha. Did I just lose my light? I did. Okay. All good. I just waited turns to try to heal, and of course, a now fine and fully healthy tortoise has run up beside me. Now this is awkward. These tortoises are super duper tanky. The penetration on my rifle is probably just fine, but it's going to be tedious. And so I'm going to show you another trick that I know, which is to load a torch up in your thrown weapon slot. And then we're going to throw it, hopefully, directly under this tortoise. You hit the irritable tortoise with your torch. So now that torch is laying under the tortoise, and I believe he's not standing in the water. So this should work. We'll see. Hopefully he catches on fire here shortly. There we go. And now he will be taking fire damage. But more importantly, he is under crowd control effects because he's on fire and will lose some of his turns to patting himself off to put out the fire. And so not only are we getting extra damage here, we are also crowd controlling him. So I've just stepped down to the side here. Note about positioning. I don't want to make these horses angry at me because they will kill me super fast. So I don't want to, misfire and hit one of them, basically. And see, there you go. He's just burned to death, which made that fight much, much easier. Now, of course, I stepped into that, and then I stepped into the water, and I'm off. I'm no longer on fire. So there's a little tactic you can use early on in the game. It's very powerful. Now we've got a pig down here, and we've got an archer, and of course, lots of horses that we really don't want to hit accidentally. So let's take care. Or do I just run the other way? Ooh, okay. Hello, you. These guys you got to watch out for because they have a lot more armor than most. Jared says, my last 2 deaths, I hit a electrified plant. Yeah, to see what it would do, and it was an insta-kill for 60 point of damage. Been there, done that. I feel you on that one. You can step on them too, and they'll go off sometimes. And they like to cluster, right? They're very infrequently alone, and so you get clusters of them, which leads to really high spike damage like that. Gotta watch out. Scary, scary stuff. I'm hoping, it looks like this pig is distracted, and maybe this guy is too. I was hoping they wouldn't come for me. I don't really want to fight both those guys at once. Optimally. I do want this bookshelf down here, because that's free XP. Oh, running into a water vine farmer. Okay, the pig is now coming for me, which is unfortunate. More snapjaws as well. Still not seeing the quest item we're looking for. Oh, great. There's another turtle. This quest was much harder than I was expecting it to be. I can tell you that much. Just like all kinds of enemies around. Different assortments, plus the cult is here. And I'm still not seeing our quest item. Just being very careful. You know, I'd be less careful if the horses weren't here, right? Because not only are they not helping me, there is a chance that one of my shots hits them and then the whole herd gets angry at me. Don't want that. Jared says, my other one was I accidentally misclicked to consume some random wine in Joppa, and the warden aggroed. He froze me and one punched me to death. Yeah, he'll do that. I don't know why that would have made him angry. Misclick to consume some random wine. Maybe it was a quest item or something. I don't know what happened there, but if you make him angry, he's going to kill you real quick. He'll kill anybody else too. If you read the Reddit very often, you'll see instances where that warden has killed a whole town more or less. Like he just aggro cascades the whole town and kills everybody. It's pretty wild. Okay, let's mark target and one-shot him. Very nice. I was a little worried about that guy. I guess I didn't have to be. He has an iron mace. We'll go ahead and get that. What else we got? Nothing? Nice. Just looking for the quest items. Okay, pig. Let's step down. Nice. Ishkar rifle, so good. If only we had butchery, right? Can't get it yet. That's all right. Does anybody see my quest item laying around? If you do, shout it out. I am looking, but there's a lot of stuff on the screen here. Makes it kind of hard to see. There's a copper nugget. Staff. Nothing else of interest. Gentling mask. I'll take that. That's worth some money, I think. Yeah, these can't be removed, so you don't want to put them on. Somebody's just randomly shooting around here. I think the scariest enemies right now are the tortoises, I guess. But I don't like these archers just hanging out either. I guess we're to the point where I can hit auto explore and maybe that will find the thing. 3 books there, very nice. It's got to be here somewhere and I'm just not seeing it, right? I guess it could be down here. No? Okay, let's auto explore. Oh, there's a down stairway. Do I have to go down there? Let's read the quest again. Why is this quest so hard? It doesn't say where it would be. No? What if I backspace? No. Hmm. Well, I guess I'll dip my head down here. Does anybody know the function to look at all the items on the screen? That could be helpful here. If you do, please let me know. This vest gives carry capacity. I think we're going to take it. And then we got a steel warhammer, which I really like much better than the sword. So we could end up using that at some point. The pocketed vest goes in place of chainmail, so we're not doing that. We'll sell it though. Let's dip my head down here, see what happens. I wasn't wanting to go exploring the depths already, but... And I do feel like it should be on the surface, but I didn't find it. I mean, worst case scenario, these guys are worth a ton of XP, so relative to the early game. Nothing of value there. Got another level up. 156. Okay, so we will get Salt Dunes first, because that's where we're going next. There's a bunch of free XP up there. And then we're going to get Scavenger next. And then we'll go into cooking after that. Hey, at least there's books down here. Okay, auto explore. Star apple, sure. Copper nugget. Nothing else down here again. Okay, well. Oh, wait a minute. You know what I'm doing. Come on, chat. You should have called this out for me. I'm in the historic site. I'm not at the quest, am I? I'm at Mirchipper, which is the historic site. No wonder this was so hard. Well, that explains a lot, doesn't it? Let's reassess the situation here. I'm trying to get over here. Okay, and I do have wayfaring for this area. Wow, watch this be like way, way, way easier. Look, here's the glass bottle. I thought it should be on that quest menu. Ridiculous. Ridiculous how much easier that should have been than what it actually was. There you go, little low-level comedy for you. Now, let's just double check this quest. I think I have to drink out of it. Yeah, drink from the glass bottle. So it has nothing in it. So what we're going to do is pour some water in there and then drink out of it. So pour. Or do you fill? Yeah, fill. With water. We'll fill 1 dram, and then we will drink from it. There we go. Quest achieved. Yeah, too easy, says Jared. It would have been, wouldn't it? At least I got some experience for doing a little bit of that historic site. And, I mean, for future reference, that site looks pretty easy. Like, we could easily dive that and get possibly 2 unique items. I mean, do we even want to go back there and do that, potentially? I think so. Let's turn this in first. I think we'll go up to the 6-day still as well. Might as well get that experience. And then it might just come right back. Okay, let's see. They have not restocked their inventories. Was this a quest giver? Oh, there's another quest. I thought there should have been. So this guy says, there's a single step remaining. I need someone to go to Shishan, and pray at the shrine to Jarashir the First, chosen skipper. I cannot tell you why. All these guys are really secretive about the things they want done. Must be this guy then, right? Yep, I've done the thing. It says, take the recoiler and return whenever your throat is dry. Okay, I will go see the Bartholomites at some point. We're in no hurry. So there's the first quest. Let's go do the second one. In just a moment. It is actually on our way. It's over here in the Salt Desert. So it wants us to pray at a shrine. And then shortly after, we'll go on up to 6-day still. Might as well pop our head in a layer. Legendary Scorpioc. Worth 525 experience. Now, there is no way we're playing around with that. So we'll leave. We immediately get a ruin. It's a ruin with a becoming nook. Excellent. Now, are these spiders angry at me right now? They are, but they're not going to chase me. The only thing we don't want to see is a fire-breathing dragon come around the corner, huh? Let's try to avoid that. Phase adaptive scope is kind of cool. Grounding shunts gives electrical resist. Yeah, 50 electrical resist, which isn't bad, certainly. Not great, you know, not what I'm really looking for here. Let's auto-explore. Oh yeah, the spiders are not going to let me auto-explore. That is probably a mod I should add. The one that lets you ignore those spiders. Okay, Shishan. Hey, another becoming Nook Ruin. How lucky are we? We've got neutral, neutral. Excellent, they're all neutral. They're all pariahs. No legendaries, though. Were there? Am I blind? Yeah, that's a legendary. Hated by dogs, hated by the frogs, admired by gyre whites. Here we go. This is a foot in the door for gyre white secrets, which we really want in this game. I noticed a number of people joining just recently, so a little update here. The purpose of this playthrough is basically to eventually find all of the Girsh and either make friends with them or kill them and get the greater victory. You probably saw that from the thumbnail. Secondarily, my build is the build that I recommend as the best build in the game. So we started as Praetorian. And here's where we're at right now. We have Ishkar Rifle, of course. We started with it. We found a couple other items for the open slots. Otherwise, we've basically just been taking it easy. We're at level 5. We're almost at level 6. Things going great. I am going to go make friends with that cat. Force Modulator and Skillsoft, which is junk. Let's go make friends. I think. Hated by dogs, that's going to be fine. Hated by frogs, they already hate me. So, yeah, this is good. Water Ritual. See, so one of the things you want to do is become friends with the Gyre White faction, because they will trade you secrets about the location of the Girsh. And since those are quite hard to find, this is going to be one of our 2 main routes of figuring out where they are. The other route being trash divining, which we'll be going into very soon. It pairs with Scavenger, and sometimes it gives you secrets, which can include the location of these guys. So, dogs are now indifferent, which is sad, and secondarily, it means that we'll have to get another faction for the faction quest later on. You gotta have 4 that really like you. This one does not, so that's fine. So here, have some secrets. We'll become friends with the pariahs instead. There's another pariah later in the game, so that will guarantee us 250 rep with them, which is fine. And look at this. Glorious, glorious streamer luck. 150 rep, which I am happy to pay for trash divining. So we are absolutely going to take that. And the reason is that this takes quite a lot of investment to get trash divining naturally. So we're going to take it that way. Wow, how lucky are we? So just check this out, what we just got. And we got it early, which means it starts working early. So more secrets for us. Great stuff. So yeah, customs and folklore is 150 SP. And then trash divining itself is another 150. So we just saved 300 SP. Never mind, it also takes, I think, 23 intelligence to get. So we couldn't even get it online right now. This is huge. That was a big pickup. Love to see it. Okay, Chrome Revolver, we'll take it. There's a toolkit, which I like seeing as well. Now, here's the shrine. We will pray at the shrine. 500 XP for that. That's a level up. Nice. Now we'll go back to town real quick. Turn this in. Hopefully get something good for it. Oh, that was the wrong button. Whatever, lost the water over it. 500 more XP. Give me something good. Uber Nostrum, Blaze, Salve Injector, Hover Sled, or Bioscanning Bracelet. I think it's these injectors. I like the Hover Sled, but it isn't really necessary. Meanwhile, these, Uber Nostrum solves any maiming that happens early on. Plus, the Blaze Injector and the Salve Injector are obviously useful. I think so. Hover Sled is worth 100 carry weight, more or less, but it takes up your floating nearby slot. So I think we don't want this. Bioscanning Bracelet is basically useless. So we'll take that. We're not favored with this village, which is great. That's what we wanted. So we're basically done here in our starting village. Let's go up to 6 Day Still. That's 1500 XP. That hits level 7. And then we will probably make friends with you. Hated by villagers of some random village. Disliked by Mopango. That's okay. Let's make friends. This is Pariah Guild, so up to 150 again. Mopango is still positive, so that's fine. share a couple secrets, and we'll get pariahs up to 250. So we're now favored with them, which is excellent. That's 2 of our 4 factions that we need rep with. Also, we'll ask where Bela is, and eventually we'll go get that force bracelet. Oh, this is unfortunate. This guy is hated by the Gyrowites twice, which means that later on, once we've given him all the secrets that we can find, killing him will be very valuable for rep. Which I don't like to see it. I don't like doing that, but having a guy we can, like having the option, what's this worth? Like 250 experience, I think? Maybe more? With the Gyrowites, which is fantastic. So eventually we'll be doing that. What we're not going to do is water ritualing that guy. Which is also unfortunate because he teaches physic early on. Meanwhile, we'll give him 3 secrets, which is pretty nice for the first trip up here. That's quite a few. 1,750 experience. Almost worth a level. The other thing we'll do over here is auto explore, which with Harvestry Online picks all the fruits from these plants, and those will be worth quite a bit of money later on. Let's check Chef. He's right here. Sliced bop cheek and rubber gum. Both of these I'll take before we drop down the shaft at Golgotha, which will prevent us from dying in case we fall. We will also probably have the wings by that point, so. What do we have for money? All kinds of junk, basically. That'll be enough. So yeah, those would be nice cooking recipes for later. We're at 22 agility and 22 int with that last level up, and we've got 250 skills. So we could get tactful here, which, granted, we're then only saving 150, but that's still 150. That's probably later. I think we want disassemble. We could get Tinker 1. But probably more importantly, we go cooking and gathering. We're about to get another level up, so if we can get Carbide Chef online, we'll get the inspired buff right away and be able to use that. So I think we're going to do that. We got 50 left, so we're going to pick up Butchery as well. So now we're done with cooking and gathering. That's fully online, in my opinion. We got a Gutsmonger, we got an Armorer. Lots of options here. This is kind of nice. Gives the 250 rep with birds, which is pretty cool. Very expensive. Negative reputation with cats. We don't want. Cats are pretty dangerous. Let's check the Gutsmonger. There's Gun Rack. Found that a little earlier than we'd like because that's too expensive. I am sure I cannot afford that. Though I could give him all these and the books. Where are we at? 445. Ooh, we could get an early gun rack maybe. Hey, I found a jackhammer at some point. I didn't even notice. Look at this. We're going to get there. $550? Dude, nice. We're picking up an early gun rack. There's a rubber gum injector as well. Probably don't need it. We have the drop of rubber gum plus a bop cheek, so we'll just use cooking instead of the injector, I think. If we need that, when we need that. We'll keep our Yonder Cane for now. It's a good escape button. We don't need the quilted shawl on this character. Crocusins, I might keep that. Getting unshelled reptile wrap can be good. So having these online could be a good thing. What else can we get rid of? Spine fruit. We'll collect a bunch of this later on and cook it up for money. So I think we get rid of witchwood bark. I hate these, and they're 1 pound a piece. So we'll keep. I think we're going to keep the steel warhammer. I could see using that a little bit, maybe. What else? Skulk injector. is not the one that gives phasing, so let's sell that. And then call that good. Cool, early gun rack. This run is off to a good start, I have to say. Ooh, we got 2 Gutsmongers as well. How good is that? I am a bit relieved that there's nothing here we actually want. So, because we don't have the money for it. But that's nice. Having 2 options every time we come here is fantastic. Always check your acre merchants. Sometimes you get secrets. Sometimes those secrets are useful. Not so much this time. We're also looking for bananas. So there's 2. Nice. There's cloning drought. Can't afford that. Draft. Cloning draft. I gotta say that right. I've been corrected before. Sun-dried tomatoes. So these will allow us... Actually, we don't need this on this build. I usually look for these on builds that don't have the techno scanner, but we got it this time. So if we get this, it would just be for psychometry. I'll take 1 is what I'll do. Give me 1 of those, just in case I need psychometry immediately and can't get to Ezra for some reason. I don't see that happening, but it could. A Reshef secret again. That'll be 4 in total. Okay, let's go ahead and make camp. Oh, I will also preserve my fresh foods. So you see we've got 65 spine fruit jams, which are very valuable to sell. And then star apple jams are really great for recipes, so we'll be using those really soon. Meanwhile, here's our schematics drafter, our other favorite salesman. Light rail, not quite good enough. Freezing ray, two-faced. Two-faced is good. And electromagnetically shielded also is fantastic. I think we'll pick that up if we can. It's going to be close. Just because I don't have to look for it later, basically. Here's a chem cell. I do have the lead acid battery. It's only got 1 gram of acid though, so I don't really want to sell that chem cell. Let's go back out of here. Pull that out. We'll sell the jackhammer. I do not need that right now. We're going to get a pick later on pretty quickly. And the pick's good enough. The jackhammer's, you know, fine or whatever, but it's not that meaningful. Take my nuggets, I guess. What do I got to pony up? 72. That's quite a lot. You can have 1 blaze injector. You can have 1 rubber gum injector. I don't need that really. Have some torches. They're 42 cents a piece. Now it only costs me 37. Good enough. I'm just saving some time later in the game by doing that, which you could argue isn't worth doing right now because I really should be looking for armor. But I'm feeling comfortable enough. It'll be fine. Speaking of armor, we've got spring-loaded chain boots here, 10 move speed. It's got 2 -3 rather, which is an upgrade by 1, but I lose a lot of DV. I think we're going to pass for the time being. Let's go see what else we got. We're not even halfway through all of these locations at the stilt. Just a haberdasher here. Something painted. Don't need anything else. More secrets. Hey, there's a historic site. I figured we'd be getting one soon. Make sure to mark that. It is not too far away. It's a jungle one. So it's a tier 4. That's definitely doable relatively soon. Assuming, of course, it doesn't have a cult of something really silly in it. You just never know with the historic sites. Sometimes they can be pushovers, like our first one will be. We'll go do that really soon here. And sometimes you get a cult of, you know, things that have space-time vortices and all kinds of other nonsense. Dromad Merchant, always good to see. There's some more bullets for us. Very good. Whoa, another historic site. Very nice. Streamer luck today, huh? Chain pistol? If I had the money, I might consider that. I really, really like chain pistols. Big fan. We will take the reward that is a chain pistol later. So getting a second one here would be good, but ain't no way at this point that I can afford that. What are you? Yeah, Gyre White, but I probably can't do anything with you, which is unfortunate. We need to find a legendary Gyre White to get secrets from later. Or at some point. Glover. Might as well check the Glover. I just have some really basic gloves right now. All in our stimulators. That's what you like to see. There's Solar Cell. Again, cannot afford. How much do I have here? 190 drams from the spine fruit. I wonder if I can cook up more, actually. Is this worth getting? It probably is. 1 strength, 1 agility with solar cell in it for 450. Maybe not, because whatever I buy now, I'm trading off the force bracelet to get. Like, I need about 250 or 300 drams right now to buy the force bracelet. So that's kind of what I'm looking to do next, I think. More engraved stuff. Lots of secrets. Nothing I need there. So let's just mark all these. I have 4 of the 8 historic sites so far. Hey, that one's doable too. That looks like it's T... Is that T4 or is that T7? Or 6, isn't it? The Deep Forest? Yeah, it must be T6. That's a little outside of what we're looking at right now, that's for sure. This one, though, we'll go to that really soon here. Okay, about done with 6 Day Still. Welcome to all the new people joining the stream. We are at level 7, just about to hit level 8. We're out of books. Hey, Dromad Merchant, hello. Oh, I bet it's the same one. Okay, we'll sprint to catch up. Yeah, same one, right? I didn't actually look at what he had. Oh yeah, I did. Chain pistol. Okay, so we'll just check this guy and then we'll move on our way. He is disliked by the Mushroom Village, Kaya Kukya, hated by the Pudis Templar, that's fine, and admired by Wardens, which is interesting. Let's check our rep with the Mushroom Village. KYU. No? How about just Q? No? Why can I not spell? Let's sort by highest rep. There we are. 0 rep. So hated should be not to the point of violence, I think, right? You know what? We don't need this right now. We'll save it. There's no reason to do that right now. We can go work up some rep with Kaikuka and then come back and give some of it away to make friends with that guy. We can also look at making friends with the Warden. Again, hated by frogs, disliked by winged mammals. You don't like to see that. Hated by flowers. Wow, what a jerk, man. I'm not going to make friends with him. Or her. I guess that's Esther. Probably a her. Okay, 70 more servings of spine fruit jam. So that's going to be around 200 drams probably. So we need to make a little bit more money to um, buy the force bracelet. So let's go find the wings real quick. We'll probably be able to get level 8 by then and a little bit more money. And then we'll go to Bela and get the force bracelet. Hey, secluded workshop. Love to see that. It's a haberdasher. There's our level up. 1400 XP. We are inspired. Excellent. So let's make camp. We'll use that as inspired every chance we get. And we're just going to mix up some stuff and see what we end up with. Of course, the first thing we're going to do is star apple jam. I don't have any meat. Okay, never mind. That won't be the first thing we do. I was going to say any meat plus star apple jam. That's my favorite basic ingredient or recipe. So what do we want now? We could do spine fruit jam to give us reflective damage type buffs. That'd be all right. We don't have a lot of anything else except for vine wafer, so I guess we'll do this. Okay, whenever you take damage, there's a chance to reflect all of it the next time you take damage. Whenever you reflect damage, there's a chance for one of your minor negative status effects to be removed. This is nice. If you have a way to permanently reflect damage, this is really good. And here's your way to reflect damage, right? Quills plus healing rate. But this is the one we're going to use. I hate quills. Awful mutation. So, yeah, I mean, this just reflects damage sometimes when we take damage, which is fine. Sleep grenade. Sure, leather cloak, something we can sell. Here's another 1500, 1400 XP. Oh god, please don't be enemies. That was scary. To come down here and see twinning lampreys, oh, I would have just been dead probably if those were enemies. Luckily, not so bad. Okay, let's make friends. Merchant's Guild goes up. We'll share some secrets of a Dromad merchant. Now we're going to use this reputation to find more locations. Probably a Dromad merchants, but sometimes they can be the legendary hideouts as well, I believe. There's a nylon backpack for 63. That's almost worth it. Oh, it's gigantic. No, it's not. Never mind. Okay, Dromad merchant. And one more Dromad merchant. That's fine. It's not the worst. Not the best. We'll just mark all these. Except for that one. That one's obvious. We'll keep this guy marked on the map. Let's see what you got. Lots of engraved stuff, at least. 2 things. Okay. Couple backpacks. That's a slender one. That's kind of nice. Feathered fur cloak. That's certainly interesting. So I guess nothing here. Now these twinning lampreys have me on edge, I can tell you that, because sometimes you find enemies here. Ooh, can I take these? Magnetized boots, hello. Not the best boots, but they're not bad. Get some extra saves, they have armor on them. A little less move speed, but my move speed... Oh, it is still base, isn't it? Saves against knockdown, though. Yeah, let's do it. If nothing else, we'll sell them later. Hello, laser rifle and love injector. Both of those are fantastic finds. Dude, this laser rifle, is this better than what I got? Probably not, actually. I think it's PV9. Yeah. 1D12, PV9. Has higher accuracy, obviously, than the Ishkar rifle we're using. Higher damage, too. But more expensive to run. I don't know. Do we want to do this? Maybe I do. I like the accuracy. I wish we had a recharging battery of some kind. solar cell, something like that. We do not. We have chem cells and we have lead acid. I don't know. If nothing else, this buys our force bracelet for us. So, it's worth a ton of money. It's close. I think this is a better weapon probably, just because of the accuracy. So we'll see. Let's carry on. Some ruins. So what we're doing now is we're going to check every tile, the centerpiece of every tile in the salt marshes, hoping to find the broken mechanical wings. So that's the next goal. And then we will probably look to go to Force Bracelet at Bela, and then we'll do the historic site. Sorry, just one sec, looking at a message here. I don't know the answer to that question. Sorry, back at it. Plated nullworm over here. And we've got a becoming nook with no free stuff, which is a bummer. Just because of the way it spawned. I don't think it's in this tile. Gun rack is 6 points. And I haven't found any credits yet, so that's unfortunate. I do want that gun rack. That would be very nice. I also don't want to get jumped by that plated nullworm optimally, especially if there's more on this map. So we're just going to be careful. Matter of fact, let's cook up our recipe. To reflect damage if need be. There's a book. 2 books. 3 books, and 5 books total. Okay, here's Nullworm. Mark, he's sprinting at us. Let's shield slam and kill. Very nice. We've got Butchery online. He was worth 200 XP. Fantastic. Got 6 books. Lots of trash to explore too. So that's all good. Now we discover a lair. You see, I was talking earlier to Jared about how good wayfaring is. You're seeing it in action here. So we are getting all these unique places. Each one of them is worth experience, or books, which are also worth experience. Unfortunately, this one's only 75 experience, but that's okay. So we're just coming to the center tiles here. Oh, look, dromads. How about that? Meanwhile, they killed a croc. Look, there's a force bracelet. I don't even need to go to Bela. It's got a chem cell in it. I think we just take this one, right? Get it now rather than later. Why not? It's not going to be any cheaper, I don't think, at Bela. Until I get rep with them. That'll take a while. Yet another secret. Cool. Man, we are having some real luck here on this run. I like it. I like getting lucky sometimes because I have had runs recently that are just 0 luck all day. So this is a good change of pace, gotta say. Let's see what we can do. Metal folding chair. Okay, so I'm at 26. Can I do it? Pretty much no. Laser rifle almost gets us there. Okay, I think we can do it. We got to make do. Could give Yonder Cane. Could give some books. Books are always good trade goods. There we go. We're only at 18 water, so we probably want a little more of that as well. So yeah, take 1 more book. That should do. Force Bracelet online. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. So that is one of the items that I always go for. It is technically a guaranteed item. We found it just by chance though, but it's guaranteed in Bela. So if you didn't know that, that's where I was heading next, and this is why, to get this online. So we got it early, very cool. If we need to bail out for some reason, like if that plated nullworm fight had gone south and I wasn't able to get away, you can pop Force Bracelet and escape to the overworld map, which is a great safety mechanism. Also realizing I have more skill points here to spend. And so what are we doing next? Disassemble is on the list. Tinker to recharge batteries seems good now. Let's get Tinker. Being able to recharge is really good, obviously. Ooh, and we got a good choice here too, or a hard choice. Six-fingered versus masterwork. So six-fingered gives you an extra agility on gloves, which is pretty good. I like putting this on any glove. Masterwork is kind of good early on and much less good later on, in my experience. And that's usually because I'm going for weapons that don't really care about masterwork. So I think we're going to go six-fingered. This is just good all game. Okay, so we got electromagnetically shielded, which we found. Oh, it takes Tinker too. We'll get that later. We found that on a merchant, and now we got six-fingered. So we put that on here. A 1 and a 3-bit. We have neither. Mostly because we don't have disassemble yet. So we will fix that very soon. Mark our Dromad merchants again. We found 5 of them, which is really good. Now, I think I was mid-sentence last time. We're popping into the center of all these tiles. We're just checking if we can find the broken wings. And if we cannot, we move on. And so this is a really quick, easy thing to do that you should do early on. Apparently this is the middle tile. So this is our historic site. It's filled with vine reaper cultists and things like that. Nothing too scary. So we'll come back to that really soon. Brits, welcome to the stream. They say, I have 2 questions unrelated to CUD, unfortunately. I am trying to get a win on each background in DCSS. Good luck. And am doing Shapeshifter. Do you have a race recommendation? And secondarily, have you tried Path of Akara? So second question first. Yes, I like Path of Akara. I've run, I forget what the new game pluses are called, but I've run, I don't know, 10 or 11 of them maybe. They keep scaling up. And so for a while there, I was kind of like grinding out challenge builds and trying to get the achievements for it. Pretty fun game. I like it. It's really simple, so I have to come back to, go away from it and come back to it periodically, I guess is what I'd say. I like it, but it doesn't have the longevity that something like CUD or DCSS do. To your first question, you want to win on each background, so you don't care what your race is. I'm going to say something really unsurprising here and say I like Null for every background. And I'll tell you why. It's going to depend whether or not you care about actually using shapeshifting to win. Because if you do, don't go Null. Go with, I don't know, Felid is pretty decent, aren't they? Who else would be good off the top of my head? I don't know. So I like Human, actually, just because it has a lot of regen. Like my last Human run was really easy, even though I was trying to go fast. So I don't know. I don't think anybody's particularly strong with shapeshifting if you're trying to win as a shapeshifter. Now, if you don't care, and here's why I recommend Null, if you just want to play the game to win with 3 ruins, then Null is the easiest for every background because Null just lets you do whatever you want. You're going to start the game with a bunch of experience and levels in shapeshifting, which will let you do the shapeshifting thing early on. But then more importantly, Null lets you find whatever the flora gives you, or use whatever the flora gives you to win the game, right? So you'll end the game as a summoner or as a blaster caster or something, and that's fine too. Still counts as a shapeshifter win. So as long as you don't care about actually winning because of shapeshifting directly, go with Null. Otherwise, I don't have a good recommendation. I think maybe something like Merfolk or Naga could be a good idea because they have downsides to their basic bodies. Like their bodies come with mutations which either slow them down or give them other negative side effects. And so the shapeshifting can help neutralize that with some of the shapeshifting bodies. So you could look at doing something like that. That's kind of where my thinking's at right now. Of course, I don't have a shapeshifter win, but I do play with the shapeshifting items on almost every character. I should say at least every null, because you get some of that XP, might as well use it. And some of them are just good, like very little downside. So use them. Use the low level ones, definitely. Brit says, I wholeheartedly agree with Null. Most of my wins are on Null. Yeah, mine too. You probably know that. I'm kind of the Null guy. It's great. It's great for new players. It's great for experienced players, players who prefer tactics over anything else in the game. You know, I recommend people that don't know what to play, go Null. Null is just always the answer. And then if you want to branch out from there, be my guest. Oddly hued glow pad. I remember this being a thing. What is this for? This is related to something unique, right? Yeah, you're welcome, Brits. No problem. Always happy to answer questions about any of these games I play. So they're loved by consortium of Phyta, which is good. Disliked by apes is less good. Admired by frogs. I think we're going to make friends with you. So it's just a consortium guy. Can I interest you in some consortium wares? Potentially. Hello, powered exoskeleton? So this guy's like a high-level vendor hanging out here. Glow sphere. I'd like to have that. I'll probably just go get my own, though. Grit Gate Recoiler? Oh, that could be slick. I could just teleport down there. Chris Steel Dagger? Oh my god, I could be a dagger build. I don't like daggers. I'm not a dagger player in general. This is cool. This is nice to know. I'm going to mark this on my map. The only thing I really want here is that glow sphere, but I don't think it's worth buying because I'm going to go find one pretty shortly here. Okay. That counts as an oddity. Certainly is. Oh, he teaches Snake Oiler. Of course he does. And I can give him my Droman Merchant things and get Snake Oiler online early. Oh, that's really good. I could also make him gift powered exoskeleton. Oh dear, what a decision. What do we think, chat? Anybody have any thoughts on this? Snake Oiler versus powered exoskeleton. Let's look at the powered exoskeleton a little more thoroughly. So it gives 2 strength. I was thinking it did more than this. Am I wrong? I'm just going to look it up over here on my other screen real quick. Because I feel like maybe if it's powered, it does something else. Let's see. When it's fully operational, it gives 2 strength. Once equipped and powered, it takes 5 turns to boot up. Sure, whatever. We know this. Tinker 2 to manipulate. It's eligible for an unusual variety of mods. That's what's unique about it. So it can do face mods, it can do feet mods, floating nearby type mods. So you can mod it with a whole bunch of cool stuff. I don't think we want this. It goes in the back slot. If I wasn't about to go find the wings, I think I'd use that. That's pretty cool. To find it this early and get it for free, essentially, because it's worth 1,200. That's the other thing we could think about. It's worth 1,270, which means we can get this for rep and then sell it for, something we actually want. Or do I go Snake Oiler? So Snake Oiler, let's go find it. Because it's quite expensive. Where is it? It's under Persuasion. So Persuasion costs 100. Snake Oiler, which is at 19 ego, is 150. So it's actually only 250 SP. So it's relatively cheap. I do usually learn it from the consortium. I can't say that word very easily. Hey, Jay, welcome to the stream. Jay says, "What's up, Draconius? Hope you're having a good night." Well, I am. It's afternoon here, actually. I hope you're having a good night. It's the middle of the afternoon here, actually, and it's a nice day. We've had a lot of storms and wind during the day lately, and it's making it hard to stream because I get a lot of noise in my cabin here where I'm at streaming. And so it's good to have a good day. We've already taken the kids out to the park this morning. So yeah, I have no complaints, only good things to say about today. And if you're just joining the stream, we've had quite a bit of good luck actually on this character. Just finding secrets and nice locations, and we found Force Bracelet instead of having to go to Baylaw, which only saved us a little bit of time. We got Trash Divining for free. Didn't have to learn it. So, and now we're looking at getting some more stuff. So yeah, it's going really well. We're having good luck here. Okay. I think I'm taking the exoskeleton. I think we'll use it for a little bit and then we'll sell it later, right? Because eventually we're going to find some kind of item that's super expensive I really, really want, and this is going to be worth a decent amount of money. We'll pick up Snake Oiler eventually anyway. Let's take it. Beautiful. Now, I wonder if we want a secret, because I'm never taking Consortium of Fight up to 600, which is what you need for the quest. And I don't like completing that particular quest in that particular way anyway. I don't think it's optimal. So we're not doing that. So let's do this. Let's see what he has to tell me. Bird Chatter says that Oozes praised a highly entropic being, insulting the Baxterpatorian sect. Okay, good to know. Thanks for the gossip, I guess. Anyway, let's mark this guy in our journal, shall we? Insert, we'll say trader Glowpad, and we will come back because apparently this guy is a high level trader. Nice, good find. Jay saying, so awesome, I love Cud, and I've really been enjoying your recent tome run. Glad you saw it. So glad I found your YouTube channel. Thanks, I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you saying so. Yeah, the tome run, unfortunately, ended just last night. So, spoiler alert, the last video is the last in that tome run for character number 2. We'll be looking to do another one at some point, but I needed a little break. I need to go back to the drawing board. Had a pretty rough time on that one. Just didn't get any items. I was saying earlier on this stream, actually, that I've been having such good luck on this character, probably to make up for the bad luck I had on that tome character just recently. It was awful, man. I got into T2 dungeons on that character without finding any uniques that were useful. Like one middling one. Everything else was just rubbish. It was so rough. That game, I was playing on Madness, of course, too. You probably know that, which is tedious anyway, but wow, is it really tedious when you get no items. Yeah, so anyway, this goes here, right? Yeah, and we'll power it with, I don't know, we'll dry out this Kim cell, I guess. So that's a bit more strength, a bit more carry weight, so that's nice. Jay says, oh no, maybe go and stay instead of Madness to get your mojo back. Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing, to be honest with you. Madness is brutal. I was thinking, like I usually, as a matter of fact, Necromancer is the only thing that I've won with. And I've won it on Normal, Nightmare, and Madness. I'm sorry, Normal, Nightmare, and Insane. And so I thought I'd try to get the Madness win. It hasn't happened yet. I've only tried it twice, to be fair. But maybe I'll go with something on Insane, like Paradox Mage, or something known to be good, just to get my mojo back, as you're saying. Build some confidence again. Remember that the game is fun and doesn't have to be tedious, because that is the gut punch feeling that I have right now. It's like, oh my God, this thing is tedious. Which, to be fair and honest, is why I'm playing a basic Cud run right now. Doing something that is a little bit hard, but not that hard for me, actually. Just having a chill stream. I'm glad to see a bunch of people joining in. We're going to go deep in this game. See lots of stuff. find lots of good gear, have lots of good luck, etc. Because usually how we play CUD is just about as hard as we possibly can as well, because that's how I like to do things. But I am in need of a little relaxation, believe it or not. And so that's what this run's all about. Jay says, Necro is so good. I love that it's like 3 classes in one, caster, summoner, or hybrid. Yeah, you're right. It is. It's really diverse. Archmage is the only thing that feels as powerful, in my opinion, but others may disagree. I think that's a pretty agreeable position, that Archmage is really, really good. I have liked Archmage. I think that was the first character I tried, actually. And it went well, but I have not won the game with it. I haven't tried very hard. I have basically learned the game on Archmage. Okay, so we got Snapjaws here. We're level 8, almost level 9. I am inspired, which we should use that before we level up. I don't know if that's going to happen, because this fight's going to happen probably. Let's just step down. More Snapjaws. Okay. Ooh, legendary Snapjaws even. All right, let's get serious. We got Hated by Ishkari Tribe. That's nice. No interesting items on him that I can see. Might have a good inventory, so. Jay says, Archmage was my first win. It taught me as well. Always am excited for CUD. Nice. All right, let's fight this fight. We're going to lose our current inspired buff. That's okay. Hello, why am I on fire? Okay, what happened here? Let's see. The air starts to shimmer with heat. I didn't see a grenade, so does this guy have mental mutations? I'm guessing that's what's happening here. Dude's even named Fire Snarler. Oh, okay. Fleet-footed Snapjaw Fire Snarler. Got it. Let's go swimming, shall we? Okay. Hey, Kenny, welcome to the stream. Kenny says, I just recently subbed. Thanks for the sub. If you subbed during this stream, I did not see it, and I apologize. I do not have the notification set up correctly for it. You would think I'm technologically illiterate with the way my streams are usually set up, but that's not here or there. They say, I wanted to learn more about Caves of Cud and also to watch some Tome. Hey, I do both. You're in the right place. I used to play a lot a few years back, one with a Ghoul Sun Paladin on normal. Nice. A lot of people like Sun Paladin. I think it's one of the top picks for doing Madness, actually. Haven't played too much with it myself. I ran one into the ground early on. That's all I know about it. Very cool. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. Jay says, oh, that sounds like a fun run. Kenny, you should get back in. Both CUD and Tome. Couldn't agree more. Play good games. Have lots of fun. That's what it's about. Okay. Dude is still fine after being shot a couple times. Is in melee range. Is a Fire Snarler. Not sure what other abilities it's going to have. Doesn't appear to have a modified weapon of any kind. I'm still at basically full health, so let's Shield Slam. He resists. I will reload. I do have my Force Bracelet ready to go in case we need it. He's injured. He's wounded. Wounded, I am still healthy. Now I'm losing more health. Okay, I'm thinking about repositioning now. Because I want to pull out early rather than late in case he lights me on fire or does something stupid. So let's Force Bracelet. Let's kill him from within Force Bracelet, shall we? Got him. Inspiration to name your Steel Shield. Sure, why not? Let's name it based on this guy. Yeah, the Fire Snarler's culture. Oboe. Okay. Let's make it red and fiery, shall we? So we remember Thermo. Oboe, the Steel Shield, named after the Fire Snarler we just killed. Now he's got a bunch of friends following up, and I've got ranged guys down here shooting at me. I don't want to keep my Force Bracelet on because we're draining batteries. So I think we're going to take off towards the north. Kenny says, today in cut I accidentally sold my chrome revolver to Argive, along with 2 nuggets for 23 drams. Ouch. She tried to sell it back to me for almost 400. Yeah, they get you like that. Deleted my save out of embarrassment. Womp womp. Sorry, Kenny. Better luck next time. So we're just trying to pull away from the ranged guy. Get a chance to reload. Get better positioning on all these dudes. Mark target. Hey, level 9. 1 attribute point. I don't see the other one. I know there's a second one there, but let's put our attribute in. Now I'm going to be looking at the snake oiler every chance I get and being like, oh, I could have had that, but we're not going to take it right now. I think we go disassemble. Because we're starting to build up a bunch of tinkering bits that we could disassemble. Could also be looking at flower fields. Or jungles even. Okay, for now let's do disassemble. Now we got 44. So I guess I'll go flower fields for the time being. I've also got an attribute point. So here's the thing. We're at level 9. At level 12, we're going to get points in everything. And so that'll take int and agility up to 23. We'll get another willpower point there. So the question becomes, do I want more strength to go heavy weapons, or do I want more int to eventually go like Tinker 3? Heavy weapons requires 23 for tank, which is the one I want. Strapping shoulders and tank. So if we ever get a flamethrower or a build like that, we'd want both of those. So it's going to go up to 20 at level 12 and then 21 at level 18, right? I think it's every 6 levels. So we need 2 points into this basically. I think that's more important. Well, let's step back. How are we beating the Girsh? Probably not with handy nukes. If we were going the handy nuke route, then we would need Tinker 3 at 29 int. I think we're not doing that. I think we're more likely to go flamethrower build. Or like a melee permastun or dismember build, something like that. Both of which require strength. So we'll go strength. Kenny says, is this the default template character, the starter melee Truecan? Well, yes and no. So this is my default template character. It is not the melee Truecan. I start as a ranged Truecan build, and I basically stay ranged most of the time. So if you look on my channel, I have a video called how to make the best, it's something like the best build in CUD, and it is about a ranged Truecan build, which we are basically following. So I started Praetorian, which is what this is. We started with optical techno scanner to give us a leg up finding items rather than carbide hand bones, which is the build you're talking about. And eventually we're working more towards heavy ranged items or big lasers or, stuff like that, basically. We could go melee too, but we're not doing carbide hand bone melee. Okay, back to the fight. Yeah, Kenny, if you want a good build for Caves of Cud, I'm doing it here. Like I'm doing the same thing here, but those videos are really to the point, right? They're cut down. It's not full gameplay. It's right to the point about how you get your guaranteed items in the early game, which include wings, force bracelet, a pick, Ishkar rifle, all that kind of stuff. How to get easy XP, how to use wayfaring to level up safely, and then basically step by step how to beat the game from there on what I think is the best build. This one is us playing that and a full gameplay loop. So this is the first time I'm actually ever showing this particular build, a full playthrough of it. So this goes hand in hand with my original guides, which were pretty popular in the community. So I do recommend checking that out if you haven't seen it yet. Okay, I see the yellow one here sneaking around the water vines. So let's not get ganked, shall we? Gotcha. Nice. Luckily, these guys have basically no armor. Counterweighted bronze axe. Hand axe, okay. Well, I guess we'll just auto-explore. Maybe there's some loot, and that'll pick it up. I don't want to go corpse to corpse picking stuff up here. So luckily, the snapjaws are not very scary anymore. Side note, we are inspired because we hit level 9. Let's go ahead and use that inspired proc. So we will choose ingredients. What do we want to do? We're starting to get some meat built up here, which means let's do star apple jam and croc jerky or worm jerky. We've only got 3. Wish I had more. That's okay. Do we want to do that or do we want to do something else? Because we could do... We don't have a lot of anything. Yeah, we'll do this one. We have at least have 2 more instances of it. So here it is. No, it isn't. It's this one. Whenever you take damage, there's an 8 to 10% chance to heal to full 15% of the time. I hate how these are worded, side note, but basically there's a chance to heal when you get hit. Great stuff. My favorite early game recipe. Helps us basically not ever die. Okay, back to what we were doing. At least we get distracted. I think we were going this way, weren't we? Geez, more snapjaws. Come on, guys. I'm just trying to get the freaking wings here. You're wasting my time. All these arrows flying around. I mean, it does a little bit of damage to me, so it's not like it's completely meaningless, but it's mostly annoying. Ooh, hey, some loot. And some angry fish? Why? Okay. Garbage loot, unfortunately. Maybe this guy had something. Hey, stun rod, that's good. That's a trade item. Stun rod has a battery, hopefully. Where are my weapons? Here they are. Oh, I found an electrified steel hand axe with a battery in it. Hello. Stun rod did not have a battery, but this does. Nice. 6 pen, 1d3 plus 1. Electrified. So that's a pretty decent item if I need to use it. Right now I'm just using torch. So there you go. Quilted shawl. Whoops. Crocossins. More dudes. All these guys are worth 5 XP. Which is really not worth killing. Kind of annoying. Let's just escape. I can't. Of course not. No, still hostiles. Okay, well. Oh, we're taking some damage. Okay, well, wings surely aren't here, right? So let's leave. Try to go down in the center, because that wasn't even the center, was it? Oh, yeah, it was. Okay. Still hostiles nearby. Leave me alone. Force bracelet, escape. Okay. Discover layer. Brits saying, do you play other types of games than roguelikes? I do, yes. I really like your analytical approach to the game. It's reminiscent of a friend of mine who used to be a poker grinder / pro, always playing to your outs, etc. So I resonate with that. I used to play poker profitably for a little while. I am also a Magic the Gathering competitive player. I really used to be. I'm stretching it a bit to say that I am now, but I still play with that kind of approach. But yeah, I mean, roguelikes are definitely my favorite game type. But I didn't come to roguelikes until much later. Oh, we want to get out of here. This is a legendary croc area. I don't want to fight through all this. Escape. But you should see my Steam library. I'm sure it's like all of yours, right? Just jam-packed with all kinds of stuff. And I didn't even start with traditional roguelikes, to be honest with you. I started with, well, let's see. I guess it would have been Binding of Isaac would have been the first like roguelite that I played. And then Slay the Spire and stuff like this I got really good at. Got really good at Isaac. Way back in the day when it was kind of first coming out and the first expansion was out. So I guess I was sort of in the early wave of roguelites, but completely missed out on the early days of traditional roguelikes. I think I've only been playing DCSS for 4 years, maybe. And I'm pretty sure that was my first traditional roguelike, but Caves of Cud was soon after that. Or maybe it was the other way around. I don't know. I've been playing Caves of Cud since one of the early beta editions. Which again, cycling back around, that wasn't your question, but yeah, I play all kinds of stuff. Heck, I used to play first-person shooters. I was really good at like Battlefield Bad Company 2 was the game I was extremely good at out of all the shooters. I don't know if anybody even remembers that game at this point. I love that game. What do you guys play in chat other than roguelikes? I don't really know a lot about my community. I mean, I assume you guys are here for traditional roguelike experience, but maybe you just like gaming. Brits, big limited Magic the Gathering player. Me too, Brits. That is my primary format. I did really well in Edge of Eternities, and I'm still playing that every chance I get. I took about a 10-year break after, Dragons of Tarkir, Khans of Tarkir, the first one, and just came back for it when Edge of Eternities hit, which was awkward because of the whole Spider-Man thing, but let's see what else you say. You say, drafting hits the same dopamine release for me as these roguelikes. Yeah, I get that. It's like every run is very different. It's like procedural generation, which I see Jared starting to talk about here. Every time your deck is a little bit different, so it's not like standard, which I also play. That's what I was competitive at, was standard traditionally, but I think actually I was probably had the most success at limited back in the day. And certainly nowadays I play mostly limited. Though I did just hit Mythic in MTGA at the end of the season here in standard with Boros Burn. I'm not playing any of that VV Cauldron stuff, so don't blame me. I'm not part of the problem. Jared says, what do you think of procedural generative storytelling games? I feel like devs have only scratched the surface with what is possible. Give me an example, Jared. Are you talking about something like Dwarf Fortress, for instance? Because I love Dwarf Fortress. I have played an absolute metric ton of Dwarf Fortress ever since. Okay, I didn't get in on the 2D version, but it would have been shortly after that. Boat Murdered is what got me into the game. I read the Boat Murdered story when it was 2D, and I was like, this is freaking amazing. I joined the Something Awful forums, which is where the generational games were happening, right? And I was just enthralled with everything about that. And I actually like adventure mode quite a bit, or did. I haven't tried it very much in the Steam version, but I did play quite a lot of adventure mode back in the day in Dwarf Fortress. So if that's what you mean, absolutely. But if there's a different example, let me know. Heavy weapons mid-tier schema soft. That's money. Kenny says DF is like the best thing to ever happen. Yeah, it's right up there, isn't it? I am a big fan of those guys. Toady1, the crew, the brothers. That community is just fantastic. I mean, the CUD community, don't get me wrong. I love the CUD community and the game. It's one of the best games ever made too. But certainly Dwarf Fortress was my first experience with, I don't know, hard games in ASCII, I guess would be if I was going to define what that was, that first experience is like. hard games with steep learning curves that are really indecipherable at first glance. Yeah, that's what Dwarf Fortress is. And that was my first run-in with them. And it really turned me on to hard games in general, probably. What do we see? Miner. Oh dear. Don't kill me, Miner. Nice, got him. Ooh, croc. Oh, not croc, a crab. Oh, you're a pain, aren't you? Injured. What a jerk. I just threw a torch under him. Gotcha. I like that torch trick, if you didn't notice. When you're feeling pressured by something that's a little dangerous, do the torch trick. Let's go with our reflective recipe here. Chance to reflect 100% damage when you get hit. Jared says, yes, Caves of Cud too, but I found it much more accessible. No doubt. The learning curve in Caves of Cud is steep, I know, for some people, no doubt about it, but is so much lower than, well, certainly lower than Dwarf Fortress, lower than a lot of the traditional roguelikes of old. It's certainly got a lot of the, oh, this guy's electric. Got to be careful. Got him. It's certainly got a lot of the new, forgive my phrasing, the new age quality of life type stuff, which I really appreciate about Caves of Cud. I do. I mean, so does DCSS, to be fair to DCSS. It's one of the reasons I like it so much. Hey, legendary lair, nice. It's a pilgrim, a mechamist though, so we like this. Just a reminder for anybody who doesn't know what we're doing here, we're looking for the wings. We are spelunking or exploring through all the marshes to try to find the wings, and we're having a real tough time finding it. Here's the pilgrim. We'll definitely check that out. It's over in the salt marsh. Very nice. Brits. I mostly play Path of Exile. Oh yeah, how could I forget Path of Exile? I played a ton of that in the early days. It got too much for me to keep up with every patch, to be honest with you. I didn't have the time anymore. But I loved it back in the day. I traded. I spent a lot of time sitting in my hideout near the stash trading. Like, too much time, to be fair. Brits also says, DCSS, Draft Magic the Gathering. But I've played just about everything under the sun. You and me seem like brothers from a different mother, or whatever you want to say. We are very much in the same boat in terms of the games we're playing. Jared says, there is something amazing about the lo-fi graphics for these type of games. Your imagination starts to fill the details in like reading a novel. I couldn't agree more. That's a good description. I've tried to explain that to my wife. How, like, original Dwarf Fortress was the big one for me, like this, because it was in ASCII graphics. And I said, you know, the learning curve is really steep. But once you get it, it's like unlocking the Matrix, right? And you're just watching the Matrix unfold in story-like fashion, in real time. And there is little more satisfying than getting that feeling of unlocking the Matrix like that and really experiencing it. Did I not pick that up? I was clicking through that too fast. Also, we have a stranger over here. Mechamist Pilgrim. Just finding all kinds of ruins, aren't we? It's really distracting from the main mission here, but that's okay, because we're getting lots of books, lots of secrets, vendors. Hey, there's a lair. So it's not all bad. There's so much trash on this map, too. Whoa! Hello! What did I just pick up? Look at this chat over here. Chat. You pick up Beaded Bracelet, Blaze Injector, Hulk Honey, Salve, Sulk, Uber Nostrum, Rubber, Eater's Nectar Injector. Somebody died here. There's a corpse of some What, Pudus Templar potentially because of the Nectar Injector? Extra dimensional bronze mace. That's too bad that's not actually good. But it'll be worth some money. Holy loot. And we found this because of Wayfaring, in case it wasn't clear. Wayfaring is the best skill set in the game. Thank you very much. Where was I in chat? Brit says, I feel that. Path is an absolute time shredder. I do not want to look at how many hours I put in it. Speaking of hours you've put into games, a game that I should absolutely list when you're saying what else do you play is Ark Survival Evolved. If you want the game I've put all the time into, it's that. The old version, not the new one. I played that back before Island had bosses. Back when Island was the only map. I don't know how many of you guys play that, but that's a long time ago. I didn't get the game the way most people get the game. I'll just put it that way. And it was playing really, really early on. I loved that game. I must have a couple, well, I know I have 2,000 on Steam. I think I have another 1,000 probably before I had it on Steam. So just stupid amounts of time raising dinosaurs, which I absolutely love. The game has gone south since then because of the company, and I don't want to get into all that, but I miss the good old days, which makes me sound old, but there you go. Just simple there. Okay, so we got a lot of cool items there. Shall we move on? Try to find these wings. I don't actually think... Yeah, I didn't find the center of these areas yet. Need to improve my lighting situation soon. Finally, we found the flattened remains. Just had to check almost every tile, actually. I think there might be 3 or 4 we haven't looked at yet, but it's in this one. So here's what we were doing, what we were looking for. The flattened remains. We'll take the knife, but what we picked up automatically was the mechanical wings, broken and rusted. And we do not have the repair function. So at least we can stop doing what we're doing. So let's go back to town. We'll repair those and we can move on to the next phase of the game. Let's see. All good there. Yeah, look at this. We were here. We had 4 tiles left to search. Rough. Sometimes it will be like that. So we'll go to the Tinker. We'll have Tinker repair our wings. Which I do how? Right click. Okay. Nice. We've got wings. Meanwhile, we'll check the inventories. Then we can probably go back to 6 Day Stilt real quick, check those inventories. And then maybe we'll do a historic site. Kenny says, DF was and still is a big inspiration for me. I have comics made in which the characters' names are taken from some of my DF forts. Awesome. Good work. Or even just using random name generator to get cool names. Very cool. I love that kind of stuff. Like, playing the game is wonderful, obviously. But that's one thing I like about the community, I guess, is that the community will then take what they had happen in the game and they'll tell a story about it on some forum somewhere, right? And some of those are just so engaging and enjoyable. I mean, that's a lot of what Dwarf Fortress is and what makes you want to play the game, I think. Makes new players want to play the game because you see what can happen. And like you were saying before, somebody was saying before, it's really all in your head, right? You're making the story up, you're seeing the things in your head, which is a little bit less true since it moved from ASCII graphics to what it is now. There are upsides and downsides with that. But even now, it's like you're telling the story, right? It is the source material. It's the inspiration. But the main storyline is what you're creating in real time in your mind. And games that make that happen, Caves of Cud to an extent is like that as well. It's just fantastic. It's a great experience. It isn't, you know, when I try to talk to people about why I like games as an art form, that's one of the reasons that I give them. is that you can't really have that kind of experience with other types of art. It's pretty unique to good, deep games of this nature that they're story generators rather than just rather than a book, right? It's to create your own adventure, create your own story as you go. It's just fantastic. It's not something you can emulate with a piece of fine, a fine art painting or something like that, which is nice in its own right, of course, but it's different. And I wish more people, certainly more people of other generations, would appreciate games as the high art form that they can be. On that note, the first game that gave me that thought was Dark Souls. To go back to, you were asking what other games I play. I played the crap out of the Dark Souls trilogy and Elden Ring and all the rest. Got really competitive at PvP in Dark Souls 3. And I think that storyline is maybe the first game where I actually played through it all and I said, this right here is high art in game form. One of the best stories ever told. One of the best ways to tell it, right? And I just wish I could give that experience to more people. I think the difficulty of it turns some people off, obviously. It brings people in too. Like that was what drew me to it. But it turns some people off of it. And you can't really distill the story to just anybody. They have to get into it. They've got to enjoy the difficulty. And I think you got to play through all three of the original ones to get to the end of the DLC, at the end of time and see the whole story knitted together such that it is. And it's just such a beautiful, beautiful thing. And honestly, it made me appreciate games in a way that I hadn't to that point, having played games for 30 years at that point. Well, okay, about 20 years. We'll call it 20 years to that point. And the first time that I'm like, definitively, this is high art that needs to be compared with high art of other forms. And I wish more people did that. More people saw it that way, basically. So there's my rant on Dark Souls and high art in gaming. All right. Intravenous port, I like. I'm probably not taking it right now. I've got a lot of loot here that I can sell. So maybe we'll come back to this. We actually do have 2 Gutsmongers, so we'll check them both. Welcome to the stream. I see we've got a good number of people that have joined. You probably came and saw the thumbnail, which says that we're going for a greater victory on this one. We're playing through the depth and breadth of what this game has to offer. 1 second. I apologize if you're getting some background noise there. It looks like my filter is taking it out, so that's good. I hope you're not getting it. Anyway, so that's one thing we're doing. The other thing we're doing is that this playthrough, this build, is based on another video that was popular with the CUD community, which is how to make what I see as the best character in the game, which is this particular Truekin Praetorian, going towards a gun build and with high tinkering. So that's what we're doing. We're basically doing a full play of that video. So if you want to get the high and tight overview of what this is that we're doing, you could go check out that video. It's my first Caves of Cud video. But that's basically what we're doing here and going for a greater victory. So just a little overview of what we got, going heavy into wayfaring. I'm just looking at my mic. I can't believe you can't hear that background noise. It looks like the filter's taking it out. So very cool. Yeah, so this is what we got. Going into tinkering. Eventually we'll be going into pistols, using wayfaring to get a bunch of levels and loot, which has been working extremely well for us. If you notice, we've been getting quite lucky. This power suit we traded for rep based on something we found with wayfaring. Lots of books. Got a gun rack early on, which is fantastic. Electromagnetic shielding, a couple different mods that are really useful. We got a lot of trade goods here, so let's find something to buy with it. And this guy might have something we like. Rapid release finger flexors and Stabilizer arm locks are both extremely good for the direction we're going with this build. So I think we're going to try to buy these. Jared says, I'm working on a rough prototype of a game that's a roguelike 4X game, like Civ meets Heroes of Might and Magic. Very cool. I'll be interested. Let me know how it's going or reach out to me if you want to play tester or something. I might be interested. Kenny says, Oh, Draconius, have you played Path of Akara? I have quite a bit. I mentioned that earlier that I've played through 10 or 12 maybe new game pluses, right? It gets harder and harder after you beat it. And I went looking for unlocking a bunch of different builds and playing some of the challenge builds and stuff like that. So it's been a while since I played, but I played quite a lot of it back when it released, more or less. So, yep, I like it. I assume you like it too. Haven't played for a while. Couldn't tell you what some of my favorite builds are, but in general, I play minion builds. So I liked a lot of the builds where you summon lots of help. That's kind of what I do in games like this. Brits says, I think some stories can only be expressed through a hard experience. Some books you have to struggle through, but are worth it. That is a really good point. I really like that. Getting some of the experience through suffering or through challenge, or you feel like you've earned it. I absolutely agree with you, is really critical for not just stories, really. I mean, life events too, right? I have a number of them that I could tell you about, but I'll tell you, I am a thru hiker. In the past, it's been 5 years now since I did a thru hike. If you're not familiar with what that is, I walked the Appalachian Trail from south to north, which is more than 2,000 miles, roughly 2,000, call it. Took 4 months, and on the face of it, it's just walking every day, right? But the reason that it is a critical turning point or a critical moment in my life is because it was so difficult and so varied, right? The walking from day to day is varied and difficult in different ways. You meet all kinds of different people. I met my wife, as a side note. Like, it's a critical point in my life, and a lot of it comes down to it being hard, it being a challenge, right? Otherwise, it's just walking. Who cares? So I'm right there with you. Living through the hard experience or expressing something through the hard experience makes it stick, if nothing else. Kenny says, oh, you really know all the roguelikes out there. Well, I know of them. I haven't played things like NetHack. I haven't played yet. I have played the traditional rogue, but not a ton. I've played ADOM, but not very much because it didn't jive with me. I know of a lot of them. CDDA. Wait. Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead. DDA. Yeah, is one I haven't played, but I need to. So I've got a list of like games that need to be played that I haven't got to. So I'm well versed, but my experience is really heavy into Caves of Cud, DCSS, and a number of other Tome, a couple of other of this style. Like, I lean more towards heavy tactics and less questing. So this is kind of the most questing that I like in a game, in Caves of Cud, if I'm honest. Where was I? I said I commented later, but it got lost in the chat. My favorite roguelike is Powder. I have not played Powder. I will add that to my list to look into. Jared says, amazing content, Britt. Spot on. Oh, amazing comment. Yeah, I agree. Good chat today, guys. Thanks for all the interaction. I really appreciate that. All right, let's buy these two ranged cybernetics. Get rid of all this junk. It's just a lot of weight in my inventory. We're going to keep this steel axe here. Lots of grenades we've picked up too. Maybe, now I'll get rid of that. Keep the fungicide one. Schema soft, could sell that. Junk. Lots of junk. Yep. Got this if we need to sell it. Now that I've got my wings, it wasn't worth nearly as much as I thought it was going to be, which is unfortunate. Hey, ironically, if we had Snake Oiler, it'd be worth more, but that's what we traded instead of it. It was either Snake Oiler or that powered exosuit. Took the exosuit. Possibly regretting that. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Ishkar rifle, spare one. need to disassemble all this stuff. 2 Uber Nostrums here, Eater's Nectar Injector. So we've been finding some good items, no doubt about it. Look at this, 6 Salve Injectors. Sorry, got distracted there for a second. Let's see, where are we at? 380 copper nuggets, neck bracelets, beaded bracelets, etc. We're getting close. We could do... Probably don't need Yonder Cane anymore. And now I guess we do books. Yeah, a few books make up the difference. I'm also only at 10 water, so we need some more to drink. We'll call that good. Now what we need is we need some credit wedges to actually use these things, because we got a bunch of good options. Let's see. Let's check the Ichor Merchant here. I always do that just in case they have some secrets. Not today. Not this time. Schematics Drafter is the other important one here. Plasma Grenade. This is an important one. If we ever go Flamethrower. Do I want to do that? 595. That's pretty expensive. I'm not sure I can swing it right now. Could do Power Suit. Could do Power Suit and more books, or I could use the books for experience, which I lean towards doing. 312. There's phasing. I want to keep that one. Probably don't need 2 Uber Nostrums. I could sell one. Britz says, oh, a recommendation for boiling down tactical roguelikes, boiled down tactical roguelikes that I enjoyed recently was Rift Wizard 1 and 2. There are summoner builds. Oh, I know. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. I have played both, and I do enjoy them. I have a lot of good things to say about them, but instead I'll say a thing that is an upside for Caves of Cut and DCSS and Tome and things like that, is that I don't feel like the runs in Rift Wizard are varied enough. I think that's kind of what turns me off a little bit with it. Like, I've beat them both. I beat the first one several times. I enjoyed figuring it out. Once I figured it out, I guess I'm one of those people that once I figured out what I think is the optimal way to play, I have a really hard time doing things that feel suboptimal, even in cases that other people think they're better or whatever. Like, you can probably see that in some of my videos. Like, I play Null Ice Elementalist of Ashen's because I think it's the best thing to play. And that's why I streaked all of those Nulls in DCSS, because I felt it was the best thing. And I'm pretty sure that's right, but I could be wrong. But I get I got stuck in it a little bit because playing anything else felt weaker. And so I was like, well, if I'm going to streak, I might as well just play the best thing, right? And Caves of Cut a little bit is like that too sometimes, because I like Trucans, I like Praetorians. And so for a while, this was the only build I was playing. So I liked doing all those challenge runs I did for a little while because it varied it up, mixed it up a little bit. I'm coming back to it because it's my favorite build. After all the things I've done, all the mutants I've played, etc., this is my favorite build. I just enjoy it quite a bit. So we're back. And yeah, I like Rift Wizard, but I feel like it's not varied enough from run to run. And I know it can be. If you force it, it absolutely can be. But you have to choose, right? The other thing is that you have all of the options available from turn 1. You never have to find things that enable your build. Though I will, side note, say that some items enable builds, no doubt about it. But in terms of spells, you've got them all available to you from the beginning. And that makes somebody like me get pigeonholed into certain builds. And that was a turnoff for me. I know some people really, really like that game, though. So, it's still in the, I don't know, A plus or A category, we'll say. Maybe not A plus, but I'd put it in, highly rated, no doubt. But I think everybody knows that. So saying something slightly negative that turns me off, that's one of the things. While I'm at it, I'll say one of the things that turns me off in CUD is that it's so easy to break the game. That's one reason that I stopped playing CUD for a little while, is that I felt like I had to break the game every time. And now I'm to a place where I don't, right? I'm purposely not going to break the game this time, and I usually don't, because I think it makes the game boring when you can break the game or force a build or anything like that. It just kind of ruins the roguelikeness of games like this for me sometimes. And I think actually that's why I gravitated towards DCSS for so long. Over Caves of Cod, over Tome. Though Tome, you know, I don't know, it has some of the same issues that Rift Wizard has, in the sense that the whole build is laid out at the beginning of the game. You can take the same build every game. And there are upsides and downsides to that. You know, I've just laid them out, in my opinion, I guess. Rupert says, I know exactly the feeling you're talking about. More combinatorial complexity and variance would be nice. Yeah. I don't know how you do it, right? Like, the game is awesome for what it is. Just for me personally, it did not have the longevity that some of these other games that I play more often do. It's nice to have this jeweler. I didn't see that earlier. So later on, we can use that to store value. Not going to do it right now. What are we actually looking for? I guess we're just checking everything while we're here. Got a little distracted talking, but I hope everybody else in the chat enjoyed those conversations. So we have all our stimulators again. This is the second time we're seeing these. And the second time that we really can't afford it, I think. Yeah, we're going to pass again. You know, they'll come back around. It'll be fine. How many bullets do we have? I need to keep an eye on that, come to think of it. 154, okay. We're still doing fine. Let's see, so I already turned in these secrets. Let's go turn in the rest of the books. We've sold what we need to. Sheba is a snail mother. How about that? Do you have anything to trade? No. Got some books. This should level us up. And we hit level 10. Nice. All right, so 137 points. Let's take a look at what we're doing next. So we have the wings. We're still using torches, so we could fix that. Or we could do historic site, because this historic site here looks to be pretty easy. So we could just dive that real quick, see if we get a cool item, and then go worry about lighting. I think that seems like the more fun thing to do. Our lighting solution is going to be here, probably in asphalt mines. That is a floating glow sphere there. The alternative is to go down here where Jopa usually is, into the waterlogged tunnels, but that's an inferior light source. So usually I go get that and get the pick, but I think this time we'll look at getting floating glow sphere. So for the time being, let's go do this historic site. What do we want to do with points? Cooking is done. I could do acrobatics. I could do swift reflexes and spry. I could look at tactful. Shake it off isn't bad. We're not quite ready for pistol, I don't think. In tactics, we've got hurdle, we've got charge. I am using a shield. Or we could go towards fasting way. I'm not feeling pressured in any direction quite yet. So I tell you what, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go jungles. And then we got 75, so we could just do swift reflexes. It's quite good. Early on, especially. Plus 5 DB when flinching away. That seems all right. Oh, we didn't check the Dromad. Let's go check him real quick. And then we'll go do historic site. Wrong button. Lead slugs. Excellent. Might need those. Hello, expensive items that I want and can't afford. Carbide boots, carbide plate armor, herberries, freeze rays. This guy, Sphinx Salt Injector, man, this guy is worth coming back to. Apparently, he's a decent level. He should just be T1, but these are, this is a really good roll on inventory here. We could use some of these, actually, couldn't I? How much do I have here? 221. Can I buy anything of interest? Almost carbide boots. I don't think that's really worth it. I'm not sure Sphinx Salt Injector is worth it either. What else we got? Huh. Not a lot. I've been storing all my value in cybernetics that I can't use yet, which is suboptimal maybe. But yeah, we're going to pass on this. Let's go do our first historic site, shall we? Now we have already been here. And we have already cleared out this level and the first level. So we're going to dive straight down. So far, it has been a simple run in this area. It's been a cult of water vine farmers. There's a musket. And yeah, water vine farmers and cultists. No, not cultists, cannibals is what we've been seeing so far here. So this should be relatively easy to clear. Some more books, some more secrets. There's a secret for a Dromad caravan. Man, just piling up those secrets, huh? Look at this. It's in a good position too. It's in a T4 forest. So that's our best Dromad merchant so far. Why did our light go out? I don't know. Okay, down we go. That's T2. Layer 3, level 3, strata 3, whatever you want to call it. Absolutely filled with cannibals. Just fighting in a corridor. Traditional roguelike tactics. One at a time. They've got a bunch of nothing. Nothing in there again. Carbide longsword. That's a upgrade if I was still using swords. I'm not. Matter of fact, I'm using a torch. Hello, musket turret. I don't have any disarm or anything like that, so just got to take it out the old-fashioned way. There's another one, it looks like, around the corner, so let's just heal up. No reason to play around. No worm. We'll pull back for that. Oh, impaled. Okay, pull back, heal. Acid grenade, rubber gum injector. We ought to eat before we go down another floor. We are inspired. Can we do anything interesting? Can't do that while waiting. Yeah, of course. Let's see. We don't have a lot of anything interesting. Okay. Well, no, I want to use this, don't I? So what can I do? I've already used croc jerky for this recipe, so let's do worm jerky. No, I've done worm jerky. I need to do croc jerky, maybe. A bit boring, but we're doing the same one as we did before. Oh, no, we're not. We didn't get the option. So we get, whenever you use an injector, you get more maximum HP. That's pretty cool. If you drop to 20% HP, you heal. That's also really good. Let's do that. Down we go. Strata 4. Okay, there is our legendary and our chest, and it's a wide open room, and we're standing in asphalt, so not optimal. Disliked by water barons. It is a average difficulty with nothing of any danger level on it. Iron Vine Reaper. Okay, so we're just going to go back up, lure some of these guys up, play this safe. We do have the force bracelet in case we needed that. Let's see, does anybody follow me? No, of course not. Wow, I'm on fire. Why am I on fire? What happened here? Kindle-thumbed cannibal. That's a new one for me. There he is, kindle-thumbed cannibal. Easy. But it hurts. I'm standing in steam now, probably. Let's go back up. Am I still on fire? Let's just step in water. We'll go down here. Heal up. This is a sticky situation. I don't think it's that dangerous or difficult, but yeah, what a welcoming bunch, Kenny says. That's exactly right. I'm just going to wait a few more turns, maybe. Hopefully that fire burns out. Okay, they're standing below me, so I'm hitting them with my torch and shield. Wowzers. Okay, I'll tell you what, folks. How much steam am I standing in? What I was going to say is I'm going to fight here with my shield up. But I'll tell you what, if I did that, it doesn't push these two away. It does push these three and this one. Let's do it. Shield is up. I'm injured. I'm going to use one of my injectors. And then let's check the battery. We're at 21%. So that is 4 or 5 turns maybe. I am on fire. Let's see. Let me look around here. I want to kill this one, right? Actually, I know the other two are hitting me, but this guy keeps lighting me on fire. So let's get him dead. The healing is over. Shield is out, so I'm going to duck out again. Nobody followed me. What an awkward entrance that is. Let's see. 1 dram of acid. That's probably only a couple turns, isn't it? Can I fill? No, of course not. Let's recharge one then, just in case. I don't have that many bits, but... Okay, we're killing another one. It's the water-vine farmer. Got him. Wait a few more turns. Okay, we got 2 cannibals and the legendary left. I'd really like to pull them up, but I'm not having any luck doing that. I'll try one more time. No luck. Okay. Down we go. Oh, one stood under me. Okay, well, of course another one's coming. Let's see. He's still fine. I hit him again. He's wounded. And I kill him. Nice. Water Baron's going up. That guy got stuck. Cool, got there. Not particularly dangerous, but a little tight, a little tedious. Engraved sandals. Just a secret, nothing special. Come on, something good. Give me a good roll. Ooh. +2 quickness, grants temporal fugue. And it's a floating glow sphere, I think. I hope. Or is it just a regular one? What is this? Yeah, oh, so good. It's a floating one. What a pickup. So now I don't have to go fight for that. I've got a legendary one here. +2 quickness is meh, right? You want like 10 or something before it's really relevant, but it's not awful. Temporal fugue at level 1 is pretty cool. Just any temporal fugue is huge, right? So we like seeing this. This is a nice pickup. Plus the credit wedges. Now, is there another item here? I don't think there is. I know I've got at least one historic site that has 2 items in it. I don't think it's this one. I would have found it at a higher level probably. Kenny says, love the ASCII smoke. Reminds me of ASCII waves crashing down on the beaches of Dwarf Fortress. Yep. Very, very similar. Similar enough, as a matter of fact, that when I see Steam in Caves of Cud, it doesn't immediately trigger the fear that it should. Because I have absolutely stepped into um, steam rather, that just freaking kills me. Right? The damage on that steam can be extremely high. And when you think it's waves crashing gently against the beaches, well, sometimes you walk right in there and just evaporate. Not a good time, would not recommend. And really, that's the biggest fear we have down here, is that the fire-breathing cannibals here don't light us up when we're standing in the water, because that could be very bad. Speak of the devil. There's the steam. Okay, just clearing the last remnants of this place. Pretty easy historic site, though, really. Sketch entrance. A little bit awkward with the fire breathers. But I'm happy. I'm happy with the result. Got some books, too. Not bad. 6 books right there. We got our first credit wedges. Ooh, hello. And we're in water, so I've got to be careful here. There's a level up. Die, you. Why are you so evady? Cool, then there's no stairs down here, right? This is definitely the bottom floor. Looks like it. I think these usually always stop at 5. Usually, always. I don't know. But that's it. Or stop at 4, rather, not 5. Kenny says, so all historic sites have reward items at the bottom of their dungeons. Yes, they all have a legendary, which is guarding a legendary chest. They always look like this, and they are guaranteed to have credit wedges in them, along with a legendary item of this kind, unique item, which can give you mutations, it can give you stats, it can give you all kinds of different stuff. So if you want to up your power level, dive a few historic sites, maybe you find something good. This is definitely really high on the utility. Obviously, it's not damage or defense, but it means we can stop using this torch, right? Which means that we can throw on Carbide Longsword or this Electrified Axe. Let's go Axe. Seems good. Yeah, so that's fun. I think maybe what we'll do next. But yeah, I should summarize by saying I think this is going to be it for this game. And the next time what we're going to do is go to the Rusted Archway, which has guaranteed credit wedges at the bottom, guaranteed cybernetics and cybernetics benches, and we're going to install some of these great cybernetics that we found. Gun rack, flexor fingers, and stabilizer arm lock. So we can get those 3 more items in there probably, which would be a nice pick me up on damage. Throw a second rifle or like a laser gun or something in the gun rack. That'd be really good. Now, what I'm noticing here is that I don't have any light. Why don't I have any light from this glow sphere? Does this not make light? Dude, it's not a glow sphere. It looks like one, but it's something else. A chipped off chunk of spindle, magnetized by the fall of Earth, orbits its chosen warden. It's a chunk of magnetic rock. It's not even a glow sphere. Oh, that's so disappointing. I thought we were sorted on light. We are not. Well, can't win them all. Well, at least it gives me Temporal Fugue, but I won't be using that all game long now, probably. Because Temporal Fugue by itself probably isn't going to be good enough later on. Womp womp. Oh well. Let's get out of here. Go back to the first floor. Yeah, so that's a little bit of disappointment there at the end, but anyway, we had a pretty good run. I can't be disappointed at all. This first playthrough, our first part, had a lot of good luck, a lot of good items found. We got to level 11, and we're sitting good. Actually, we got Temporal Fugue 2 because of the ego. We're sitting good to go into some harder stuff next time. So I want to thank everybody for joining. Hope you give me a subscribe so that you know when I go live again. Probably it will be around this time tomorrow, give or take. And I hope you'll be there for it. Thanks to everybody who interacted in the chat. Always makes the live streams more fun when people do that, so I appreciate that. Kenny, Brits, Jared, all you guys, especially appreciate that. Kenny says time to get the helmet underground between Joppa and Red Rock. That is one option. That's the Miner's Helm. It gives 4 range on light, which is not optimal. We'd rather have 8 range from a glow sphere. So we'll be debating between those two options, but probably we're going to end up with a glow sphere. And I'm probably going to end up holding it in my hand because I'm not actually hitting anything with this. So that's what we'll be looking to do. Anyway, I'll see you all next time. Thanks a lot. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Later.